Again, I like to start on time, so let's get going. A couple things. One of them is thanks for reviewing what we did on Monday. So again, when I make these presentations, I'm the only set of eyes that are looking at this. So a lot of times I might make a mistake or two, but you caught it. You caught exactly what I was
It's
looking
okay.
for.
Since we are a team, we have to work together.
Absolutely, okay, and that's the whole idea. So it was great that you caught it because then now I'm able to go back and then we're able to talk about it and then go. But by accident, I now know that you were paying attention and you were doing your work. So that's really, really good. Okay. All right.
Yes, I
Excellent. All
was
right.
recapping the last session.
Absolutely. Okay. Especially because, how we do Thursdays is it's going to go a lot more in depth. So especially today, you're going to see us really, really go in depth when it comes to the stuff that we do with stances and modified stances. So in the meantime, anything that you saw that you had questions on, or anything you saw where it's like, hey, this is what I'm doing, or this is not quite what I'm doing, any questions that you might have?
Coach, since I was working with age of 10 to 15, in between age, so I was not able to find out the right thing with the children because I don't want to focus them on the footwork at the moment. I was working on the contact point for the last 1 week, whole week. So I don't want to mess up everything, put on the mind. So you want to move like this, you want to take your feet like this. I don't want to mess up. So I was working with the contact point. So slowly, I want to take them to the right path. So I don't want to put everything inside their mind.
Well, and you bring up a couple of great things here, Karthi. One of them is you have to go along with what the athletes are ready to do. So if you go out there and like we said the first time around, right? Said if we have all this information and we start throwing information at them when we're ready, but they're not, nothing's going to get through. It's like juggling. You juggle one ball, you're okay, but the moment I give you a total of 5 or 6, you're not a very good juggler. You're going to struggle, right? So you want to make sure
Yeah.
you follow what the athlete is really asking you, but you always have those thoughts in your brain when you're like, for this athlete, I can do this. For this group, I can do this. And the idea is to make sure that your practice become very individualized. So even though you might have 4, 8, 10 players spread out on courts, you want to make sure that every group practice, okay, goes along the lines of an individual, if you will. All right. So, awesome job on that.
Yes, coach.
All right,
So
gentlemen, we
I
got a
always
couple.
go with this plan, coach. So I never teach them what I know. I really go with them what they want.
Absolutely.
On everyday session, I never teach them whatever I know. I never teach them. I really go with what my children want, what my trainee want.
I'll tell you
So I
this,
go with this plan.
yeah, a couple aspects there, Garthi, and you're right. It's what they want and what they're ready for. And you want to make sure that we as coaches become athlete centered. So whatever they want and they need, we're able to adapt us to them, and we don't become coach centric, where they have to adapt to us. No, it doesn't work that way. It works the other way
Yes,
around,
coach.
right? All right, big man, let's get started. So the return out, the first one, inside out, the second one, back in, and the third one, back in down the line. But 3 shots. Right? They're all great movers. How many steps did Federer take on his first shot? What kind of shot did he, or what kind of shot did he hit? What stance did he use, and how many steps did he take? Cartier, I saw your hand first. Go ahead.
The first one is split step.
Okay, now
The
yeah,
second one
now
is
you're right with the
stance.
split. Tom, go ahead. Sorry.
The second one is extreme open.
The second was an extreme open. Okay, tell me about the first one because you're right. The last one, which was a forehand, was an extreme open. Okay, let's go
Yeah.
back in time and tell me about the first one. What was the first one when it comes to what shots, then what stands, and also how many steps did he take?
He took 2 steps.
I took 2 steps.
Yeah. First shot is a forehand return.
I don't remember. Leave the return out. The return will be a different topic. What was the next shot? Carti, that's okay. I'll let you think about it because the last one was a forehand extreme open, so you're correct. All right. Which stance is used the most and why? Two questions in one. Go ahead, Karti.
Semi-open stance.
So the semi-open
Is
stance,
used
very
more
good. Can you tell us why?
because a lot of lateral movements are happening.
Very good. A lot of lateral movements are happening, so it's much easier to take the back foot and then step out, step behind. You're absolutely right. Why else? You're right, by the way, but why else? Tell me the number one most important thing, and don't you ever forget this. Remember, I'll lead you a little bit. I know a couple of you guys are already smiling here. Karti, you only have 2.9 seconds from the moment you hit the ball to the moment you hit the ball again. You want to cut down away, or you want to cut time away from the opponent. You want to gain time. What does the semi-open stance allow you to do? And what does the semi-open stance disallow the opponent from doing? Any idea? Go ahead, Karti.
So the semi-open stance helps to misjudge the ball. So the opponent can't predict the ball where I'm going to hit it.
Phenomenal. Yes, the semi-open, as you have a range of motion hit anywhere on the court that you want, the opponent is not going to be able to read you as quickly. Perfect. Well done. All right, on the serve, which stance is not accepted? Which stance are we trying to stay away from?
The middle one.
The middle.
Which
Hey,
one you
yeah,
saw,
you're
saw in the
right.
picture?
You remember the picture, Garcia. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, what is the name of that stance? Because it does have a name. So, what is the number one thing when it comes to why we do stances and why we have modified stances? Any idea? Any idea? Physically,
balance.
what's up, Kartik?
Balance.
You nailed it. You nailed it. Now I need you to be more specific, Kartik. You got it. But I want you to be a little bit more specific, and I want you to use this language when you work with your players. Start with balance, but they are smart enough to understand more than just balance.
Center of
Keep
gravity.
going.
Center of mass.
Oh, Karti, you're hot. Not the center of gravity, but what's similar to, or what should we say, it's related to the center of gravity in the sense of verbiage, words, but it's a little bit different. The center of gravity, remember, is the way we go up and down. It's the way we take that balance up and down. Being down is going to keep you a little bit more balanced. What's the other way to keep you balanced? Not the center of gravity, but why can that car stay on its two wheels? Why can that soda can stay tilted? Carter, you had a question.
Yeah, coach. How does the footwork contribute to a player overall strategy match during?
Well, remember what the overall tactical goal is to make sure you hit every shot as offensive as possible, right? We can all agree on this. If you can hit the best possible shot to hit a winner or to force an error or to set up the next shot, that's the ideal. So if you're able to get the contact point like we talked about last week, and you're able to match it out with your stances, where you're able to get the body in the best position in that specific scenario, then you're able to get all the energy that you can into the ball to maximize that power, to maximize the spin, whatever the tactics are. So at the end of the day, the forward aspect is so important because it puts you in a position to hit the best offensive shots. If you're off a little bit and the forework's a little bit off, that is going to affect the center of mass and then affects the contact point, as we talk about dominoes, then you're going to hit a shot that's not optimal. So instead of hitting that winner, the player maybe is going to get it back. Instead of hitting that neutral ball, then you hit a defensive shot and then you're affected because then you're going to hit a defensive shot on the next one. So remember, at the end of the day, whatever we do now is going to affect what we do next. So if we're doing the best that we can when it comes to the contact point and the center of mass and the stances and blah, 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 you're going to produce the best possible shot in that specific scenario that's going to set you up for the next shot, if there is a next shot. I hope that answers that question.
Thank you, coach.
Good. All right. All right, gentlemen, then I will say this. Thank you again. Again, these Thursday ones are a little bit longer, but you see how much detail we have. And you guys were awesome today. Thank you so much for continuing your education. Thank you so much for being with me this morning, afternoon, evening. And I'll send you guys some messages when it comes to what we do next year on Monday and going forward. Sound good?